My mother's sweet potato field in Texas looked like a battlefield. The once lush green rows were now nothing but torn earth and broken vines, twisted into a chaotic mess of mud and ruin. The culprits? None other than wild hogs, merciless invaders that leave nothing but devastation behind. Every inch of the ground bore the marks of their sharp tusks and heavy hooves. The crops she had nurtured for months had been reduced to shreds overnight. It wasn't just about the lost harvest anymore. It was about reclaiming our land and our pride. We knew we had to act. What would be the outcome of this life or death showdown? We were about to find out. Before we set out, we spent all day yesterday scouting the area, studying their movements, marking water sources, automatic feeders, and the countless hog trails that crisscrossed the land. Each trail told a story, where they fed, where they wallowed, and where they felt safe. Knowing the terrain would be key to picking the perfect ambush spots. This morning, under the pale light of dawn, we dressed in full camo that blended perfectly with the misty brush. Our specialized boots made no sound on the dew-soaked soil. Rifles were cleaned and loaded, radios tested, and the pickup truck waited at the edge of the field, ready for whatever would come. Our first position was deep within an old forest, where multiple trails converged like a crossroads of danger. The air was thick, humid, and heavy with anticipation. The wind favored us, blowing steadily from the south and masking our scent. Suddenly, Chris froze and raised his hand, a signal that made my pulse quicken. Through the scope, I caught sight of movement. A massive wild hog rooting behind a fallen oak. The thing was enormous, easily 400 pounds of muscle and aggression. For a moment, time slowed, then instinct took over. I steadied my aim, exhaled slowly, and squeezed the trigger. The rifle roared. Bullets tore through the air, and before the beast could reach cover, it collapsed with a thundering crash. A perfect first victory, and a warning to the rest. But the day was far from over. Following fresh tracks, we moved toward an open clearing, wide, exposed, and perfect for decisive shots. Wild hogs are clever, their senses razor sharp. Their hearing can pick up the faint click of a safety being released. Their noses can detect a trace of human scent from hundreds of yards away. So, we moved carefully, step by step, using every bit of cover we could find. Then we saw them. A sounder of hogs crossing the clearing, their dark bodies rippling through the sunlight like shadows come alive. I picked the last one in line, slightly separated from the group, and took the shot. The hit landed, but it bolted, thrashing into the dense woods. We followed cautiously, but the forest swallowed it whole. As the sun began to sink, we adjusted tactics. Wild hogs grow bold as dusk approaches, venturing out of hiding to feed. We set up an ambush near a preset automatic feeder, hidden in a hunting blind, motionless and patient. Minutes felt like hours. But then we saw them, silhouettes moving cautiously in the dimming light. I waited until one stepped into range. The shot cracked through the stillness. It dropped instantly. My teammate radioed in. "Hogs at the eastern feeder." We moved fast, keeping low. The moment I had a clean view, I waited for the right second, then fired. Clean, controlled, precise. 2 more fell before the night closed in. The truck bed filled with trophies, including that monstrous 400-pounder from earlier. It wasn't just triumph we felt. It was relief. For one more night, the villagers' fields were safe again. But peace never lasts long. After years away, I returned to visit my grandmother. I had hoped to find the countryside calm and golden under the sun. Instead, it looked like a war zone. 5 hectares of rice fields destroyed overnight. Barns collapsed, the smell of rot and mud hanging in the air. The villagers spoke in hushed tones. Wild beasts had come again, striking like ghosts in the dark. But I couldn't stand by. Not this time. Tonight we would take back what belonged to us. By sunset, we were on the move, a small convoy, cutting through the wild stretches of South Texas in a UAZ Hunter. The rumble of the engine blended with the rising chorus of insects. Our plan was tight, our resolve unshakable. Night fell fast, and with it came the enemy. They poured into the fields like an army. I locked my sights on the lead boar and fired. The alpha dropped, but the rest vanished like smoke. I realized then why these beasts ruled the night. They were smart, fast, and relentless. But so were we. We regrouped using GPS trackers and thermal scopes, pinpointing movement in the darkness. Leon flanked left, covering every possible escape route. Through the scope, the world glowed in shades of white and gray. The hogs appeared as bright, glowing forms moving through the brush. When the signal came, our rifles thundered in unison. One by one, they fell. Silence returned. the kind that only comes after chaos. We moved again, deeper into the terrain, each of us locked into our role like gears in a machine. Every target illuminated through the thermal scope became another life taken swiftly and cleanly. By midnight, the hunt had reached its peak. No hesitation, no mercy, only precision. Before dawn, we cleared the last field. Grandma's land was safe once again. Yet as we drove back under the stars, I couldn't help but think. This was only one battle in a much larger war. Across America, from the Texas plains to the Florida swamps, feral hogs continue their rampage. Their population has exploded past 2.6 million, spreading into suburbs, farms, and forests. They destroy crops, uproot ecosystems, and poison water sources. They are not pests. They are a biological disaster. That's why we continue the mission. This isn't sport, it's survival. Every hunt, every shot fired under moonlight is a small step in protecting our land. From Texas to Queensland, from the mountains of Europe to the forests of the Urals, hunters stand united in a silent, global battle against one of nature's most destructive invaders. Each story, each hunt, carries the same truth. The land must be defended, or it will be lost. Tomorrow, when the sun rises again, the fields will be calm, the soil will rest, and for a little while at least, the wild will know peace.